In a few couple of videos ago, we have just reviewed for the Suicide Collection, Sunday Night Suicide over here, and many more for some sort of like this as Friday Night Fatality, like since this thing as well that I just discovered first, including Funkin with Battle for Dream Island. But I started to get speechless for pretty sooner as well. But I cannot believe this is eventually a little bit too much as well for some sort of like this. In the past few videos, we made for some sort of like the police chase, and many other kinds of Cookie Run characters have been taken over for around here. But unless there's still police chase around here onto the suburbs, and like anything for the three stages like these things, it still added a little bit more Cookie Run like those characters, including the fan-made characters from Cozy Cafe. Like to do this as well wasn't gonna be pretty actually like them as well. They actually made an age restriction to put ourselves for the ages of over 14, which means everything was going to be for requirements for the age of 14 users to be checked out or review the comic studios, or just probably going to be clicking around here into the descriptions around here in these comic studios or comic creators in the past few videos. But today, making their own Suicide Mouse sprites was absolutely even disturbing. I never perhaps that I'm going to be saying for right there as well, as I'm going to be checking out for this thing as well. I shouldn't able to be doing this, by the way. And of course, that feels that I'm not going to be going for literally for right over here for this thing as well. So, I'm better going to be view for this thing as well. And it won't be necessary as anyways as well, making their own, as we're gonna be checking this out as well. So we might able to be covered this thing as well, because sometimes there are always disturbing for round of those things as well. We used our the crossovers like those things we use could be for the spoilers like themselves, and nothing on submitted sprites could be even for showing like this. So, but how are those some kind of forgotten to do this? What Disney's forgot, like whenever that isn't going to be for some sort of like those things. The Hot Those comics for the make of BF and GF and Pico sprites. The reason that I make that because there is submitted sprites there into the mouse AVI rigs, and Hot Dogs Comics doesn't add them to others. Let's see, we find here for these submitted sprites, but some sort of like this, they are way more disturbing than unusually that we find around as well. So, this is absolutely going to be and try to add a little bit more sometimes as well. Nothing is absolutely sooner to be added like anyways as this one. And also, everything has no backgrounds whatsoever. So, I've just started to review some characters, but I'm not very sure. This could be for some sort of like the Friday Night Fun conversion, and turns out into some sort of like a great big monster. The mouse AVI was also disturbing for round as well, and that was a little bit quite fully quick, that I never seen this before. But I'm just going to be trying to find out, and that was a little bit quick. And as you can see, the user comics, it was quite fully more disturbing. Everything, it was eventually disturbing that I never to be able to use to be as well. Everything is no submitted sprites around for this many more around themselves, which they going to be getting a little bit for one thing, or probably should be able to be added, but the comment says no, or some sort of like this whenever it goes. But I absolutely try to find out that the way it was. So if I put Mickey Mouse over here, that could be able to be sending me for some sort of like the copyright reference. So nothing's still about to happen. What is absolutely trying to do this as well? Or maybe this isn't going to be for just like the beginning, that the Disneys forgot like those things as well. And I'm probably sure that we're absolutely making another video for something as well, but that will be for pretty not very sure. That was even shorter than I expected around here. It's too hard to think around here for a long time since I just completely added a little bit amount of faces between those stickmans made by Alan Becker, and quite fully that must be the Cookie Run version of the Mickey Mouse. And I didn't able to be added a little bit more. So quite fully that their stickmans are gonna be a little bit taking it over, and could be for that one who wasn't going to be for user submitted sprites, but I'm probably going to be saying for the animation for just what I just say. If you're gonna be saying animation, and this is not gonna be about to think about here for some sort of, if I'm gonna be typing faster, this is absolutely for a little bit of amount of mistakes, and I just not going to be thinking about for this thing as well. So this will be for some sort of like this as a standard fictional stickman. So even though this is actually going to be for another one, or I just going to be added for some sort of like those things, facing this could be another one for some sort of like this. So even though we just completely added for multiple stickmans as well, and I cannot believe it, I should not able to be added for some sort of suicide mouses like all over to do this as well. So I eventually added for some sort of faces except these two, but I actually going to be for that I didn't care for around here for some sort of faces. And what I just wanted to say for this thing as well could be the eyes, of course. So that I just added for some sort of like this, or maybe later for around here for probably that we're going to be, that's it for the end of this video as well. That was pretty quick, but over 7 minutes of this video isn't going to be for around to do this as well. Even that is actually taking a little bit more as well. And let's see the user comics immediately for to do this as well. I'm afraid they will be showing up for some user comics because there must be a full of tons of like these things as well. Lots of copyrights, and probably there is even a little bit more for such for anywhere as well. Probably I added 2 more stickmans and added 2 more faces as well, and becoming like even this. I never eventually that I just added for pretty much that we're pretty going for a little bit for as well. So even though it's going to be about for 10 minutes of those things as well, and it's not going to be going for around like anything as well. We already said that like anything as well, maintained by Sansi, the mouse 3, and controller pad for like anything as well. There's no hot users everywhere, and probably like any more for around the overhauled and the duck song, or some sort of like anything as well. We're not able to be showing for this. This is absolutely truly even more disturbing, and if I'm going to go here, this is absolutely pretty disturbing as well. We forgot to add it for a lot of more ghosts for round of those Disney characters of Cookie Run characters or Disney cookies around here. And that will be it for just like I never going to be used to be as well. So the link is going to be in description below, because eventually this comic creator was so underrated that permitted to be using for requires a lot of sprites for some body parts of Suicide Mouse, and I never explain why that I'm not gonna be doing this for a little bit for one time as well. Even though the most recommendation is to browse some comics wisely for the appropriate ones and not any kinds of spoilers like themselves, including like anything cringe and even worse that I don't want to see like this thing as well. Even you should probably find out what is going on in Comic Studio for browsing comics as well, like even to do so as well. Well, that was over 10 minutes of this video that I cannot wait to be about for wrapping up for this strategy as literally a those things as well. Well, we eventually added 2 Henry Stickmin characters on for 2 panels like themselves, and that will be about it as I'm talking around here for to do so. Thanks for watching, for all your support, and I'll be seeing you many lads and Comic Studio users all later, and you have to be at the age of 14 to check it out or view in this comic creator or comic studio, by the way. So thank you and have a nice day or not. So that was not even fun, like, I guess. So that was pretty much more it.